All right, guys, we are recording. This meeting is being recorded.
So official. This meeting is being recorded.
So hopefully we'll have some more people pop on as we go. I don't think you had to do well, maybe you had to do the password this time, but hopefully nobody will get stuck in the waiting room. And I'll try to keep.
Are you able to see that?
It didn't make me put in the password.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Okay, good.
Awesome.
I was hoping not. And then we're recording this so people can watch it later. But we wanted to talk about, since we're starting a whole new season, and PRV is always like the number one thing that we always have to focus on to get to the other legs of success. Like if you want to sponsor, PRV is always first, and you always want to do that, first and foremost in the month for your own sales anyway. So you can reach out, meet new people, all that good stuff. So we thought we would just kind of come on here and tell you guys what we do and just sort of answer any questions that anybody had. So we wanted to start off just telling anybody who watches this who we are. Obviously, Ashley knows who we are. If anybody later watches this and they're like, okay, so I'm in Starry Nights. I don't know who Sarah is.
I just joined.
Who is Sherry? Who are all these people talking all the time? I don't know who they are. I know my sponsor, that's it. So I'm Sarah Godwin. I'm the star director for team and group Starry Nights. When you guys see that I say, when I do shout outs for our group, that just means that I'm not directly your director or so I didn't sponsor you. Maybe somebody in my front line did sponsor you or somebody down the line, but that just means that there's a director between me and you. So for instance, Sherry's a director. So Sherry's team is under her, under Pink Anchored Script Changers, but they're group Starry Nights, basically. So Sherry's their director, I'm their star director, and Chloe is their superstar director. People just ask that all the time, and it does get really confusing, so I just thought
It still gets confusing for me. When she breaks down the groups and teams, I'm like, oh, wait.
She's like, whose team is that? Yeah. So like right now, Starry Nights has me as a star director, Sherry's a director, Melissa's a director. So Melissa has Team Carolina Fireflies, and then Melissa has directors under her, et cetera, kind of thing. So if like whenever I promote to superstar director, I'll be everybody's superstar director here. Chloe will be your second generation superstar director. If my sponsor, Ashton, I won't go on too much about this because people are like, who? Promotes to superstar director, she would be our next superstar director in line, and so on and so forth. So whenever your sponsor, or you can be a very close future superstar director or director, just so maybe that makes it a little bit less confusing, but it's a lot when you get break off into different teams or whatever. We're all the same family tree. That's what I want to tell you. So I started selling Scentsy in 2014, joined under my sister-in-law. I had a full-time job. I was not looking to sell anything. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a very much an introvert. You probably can tell because I don't really love doing lives and things like that, but I do them because I think they're important. But I never, ever even feel like a salesperson, not even now. I fell in love with the stuff. I joined to do something with my sister-in-law, and it kind of went on from there. It ended up becoming something that I was like, this can kind of change the course of my life. Like I can start, I don't have to work this job that I don't really like that much. I can pursue my other career that I do like for myself kind of thing. It wasn't like an overnight thing. Like I said, I've been doing this 7 years and it's become a gradual thing, but my first motivator was just the relationships, and then it became the trips and the money, honestly. So when I saw that it could be like a thing for me and I can earn, when I earned that first trip to Cozumel, I was like, wait a minute. I have wanderlust out of yin yang. So that is my thing. Like I just want to go all the time. And Sherry is like, this is why she's my homie, because she is right there with me. When Sherry gets her mind made up, like to earn a trip, there's like nothing stopping her. So I love that about her because I can relate so much. So that is pretty much me in a nutshell. I'm married. I have, look at that baby. I have a bunch of animals. I love my friends and family, and I like to travel. So I'm gonna let Sherry introduce herself, and then we're gonna get started.
All right. So my name is Sherry, and I am Sarah is my star director, and I am a director of Pink Anchor Script Changers. And just to kind of tell you a little about, Judith's joining in. So
Hey,
just kind of tell you a little bit, I actually joined Cincy originally because I had a party for Sarah. I actually had 2 parties for Sarah, and both of them were $1,000. And I was like, why am I not putting $250 in my pocket? And then me and my daughter both had a wish list going that day, and her wish list was bigger than mine. I'm like, I certainly cannot support your habit. I can barely support mine. So for most of you, she's got to get in waves. Like, yeah, she's part of this. Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, I lost both of my parents at a very young age. I'm only 42, and I don't have either one of my parents, which is where the Pink Anchored Script Changers comes in. Pink because I lost my mom to breast cancer, and Anchor because I lost my stepdad at sea in a boating accident. And once I realized I didn't have them anymore, it kind of became a no-brainer for me that I needed something else to fall back on, which is how I fell into Cincy. Initially, just to support my habit, and then over time, my why gradually changed, especially when COVID hit. I ended up getting treated like a number at my job. I'm a nurse, and at my job, I kind of like when we first had our first exposure to COVID, my job was kind of like, yeah, well, I kind of need you to work because I don't have anybody to cover the schedule. And they didn't want me to go get tested because they knew they were going to have to cover the schedule. And I mean, I literally cried like all day. And I told my boss that he had treated me like a number. And I made my mind up then. And I told Sarah then, I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I want to do something different with my life. I want to be able to tell people when I'm going to work and how I'm going to work. And where I'm going to work and what days I'm going to work. And so my why changed really quickly. And I tell you all that to tell you that your why makes a huge difference for where you are in Cincy. So I want you to revisit your why. Okay. Why did you join Cincy? Maybe it started out for a discount, and then maybe it's turning into something else where you want it to be more of a bigger side gig. And then, my daughter and I, we got to start traveling a little bit, and we started earning trips and stuff. And then it became even more for us, more than I ever thought it would. But it gave me incentive to really try to reach for the stars and reach for a director and reach for the higher PRV and the promotions and the different things. I actually remember looking at Sarah and laughing when I got ready to earn my first trip. I was like, I really want to earn this trip. And I was like, okay, I pretty much have to have 4,000 points a month to make this happen. And there is no way I'm going to make it happen, but this is what I'm going to do to try to make it happen.
I was like, okay.
Right. So it is the why that inspired me, and it is the why that keeps me going every day. So if you are looking to climb your PRV, I really need you to get back in touch with your why and why you're doing it, because it will motivate you on days. And I've heard this in trainings after trainings, and it is so true. It is going to motivate you on days that you don't want to get out of bed, or on days that you don't want to pack that order, or you don't want to go the extra mile to deliver, that package to the customer that would come back if you delivered the package. It is going to be the motivation that's going to get you there. So
absolutely. And I think like exactly what you said, like the overall synopsis of why we both are doing this is freedom. Mm-hmm. Like that's the perfect way to describe it, because you're so right. Like I love what you said. But yeah, so we thought we would go on to kind of just talk about what we do every month to get high PRV, even in months that are that seem like they're slower, that kind of thing. You probably heard from people that people say the J months are hard or whatever, and I hate that. Like I reject that. So J months can suck it.
Yes.
Like they don't mean anything to me. So I challenge. I'm like, come for me.
Come at me.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd kind of talk about what we do every month, kind of break down our January, since that is traditionally like a tougher month. And I'm not gonna I don't pretend that that it's easy, because January is always you have to really dig deep, it seems like, because everybody's busy. October, November, everybody's ordering the Christmas bundles. December, maybe you're still putting together bundles, things like that. Then in January, a lot of people were like, yeah, I spent a lot with you last month. I bought all my presents. Yeah. So
you done tapped them all out, and now you're trying to reach out to them for January.
Yeah, like, send me some samples. I'll take that. Yeah. I'm good with that. So it really is, it was a little bit tougher. So we just thought we'd kind of go through, like, we're not just gonna be like, put your head down and work. Because, people say that and you're like, what do they mean? Like, well, how? What do I do? So we thought we'd just tell you what we did. So break down like what I do every single month, no matter what month it is. And Sherry will tell you hers too, because I like the way she does it, and we're a little bit different, but the same. I always start, beginning of the month, where do I want to be at the end of the month? My PRV goal for every month is usually about the same. When it's a month that I'm like, yeah, I know October is about to be, it's about to be hot, so I'm gonna, up it a little bit. Or when I'm within, they don't really fluctuate for me during an incentive unless I like get behind 1 month, because I kind of keep them in place where like every month is hitting the PRV goal. Because I always like look at annual sales as like my always incentive. Just because like for myself, like I like to hit that goal. It's $1,000 bonus. That's not bad. And so I'll go ahead and break it down, but I will, when an incentive comes around, I'll check it. I'll be like, okay, is my PRV where I think I need it to be? Or should I like up it a little bit? Or, you kind of put a little wiggle room in there. And then I break my goals down into week. A lot of people do things by day. I don't necessarily do that. Sherry does, and she's going to show you, because I think that's really cool too. But I will do like Sunday through Saturday. Those are my goals. And I try not, like, I don't work as much on the weekends, but on Sundays I do like to make my to-do list for the week, because it just kind of gets me in the right headspace on Monday. Doesn't always happen, but it's a good thought. So I will say, like, I'll tell you or show you what I did for, like, I just still had this one, January 17th through 21st. I just had this little thing. I got it from like Ross or somewhere, but it has top goals. So these are my top goals for the week, not necessarily for the day, because if stuff comes up with my other business, life, whatever, I like to have the flexibility. So my top goals were like 785 more PRV. That's what I wanted to try to accomplish that week. To do my Facebook party outline, that was for team, and more sponsoring points, however many more I needed. And then on the other side, I wrote down what I had going on. Teammates I was helping with the relaunch parties, who I wanted to check in with, for people doing current parties, people I wanted to talk to about sponsoring. So it was really, really simple, but it helps me to just to have a thing to check off that's not too structured, that like, if it's going to be too complex for me, and the way I like to keep it simple, Sally, she's going to talk about that too, I will just put it down and not touch it. So it's pretty, but if you don't use it, what's the use, right? So keep it simple. Keep it to whatever works for you. If you like something a little more complex, I also use a spreadsheet for like whoever I follow up with. To me, that's easy. So you just kind of like, a lot of people, there's so many different systems on YouTube. Like you can look to any of our different training, all kinds of trainings that a lot of our team and upline and people do, to see what works for you. But for me, I'd like just a weekly thing. And then each day I might make like a little 3 things to do that day list. So then every month when it starts off, I use the first week for my own PRV. Like, it's like, I'm going to, of course, answer, teammates that message me or like do things on our team page. But my first week or 2 are from setting up my own parties, making sure I get at least 500 PRV, because that's the leadership amount. I try to get active within the first few days. And then I kind of follow on with that. Like I work on like sponsoring, like the next week I work on coaching teammates following 2 weeks. And then like the last week is kind of like whatever else needs to be done. I'm talking a little bit about Sensi Club too, but I'll let you talk about like your systems and how you.
Do you want to go ahead and just put that's part of your PRV though?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So last month I had 3,037 PRV total, and 900 of that came from Sensi Club. And so I have big months and small months with Sensi Club right now, because I have some people that are on every 3 months, some people every month, some people every 2 months. So it kind of, some months hit and I was like, okay, that's my big month. Like, this month is like one of my smaller months. But consistently I have anywhere from like 300 to 400 all the way up to 1,000 coming in every month. So that's just like easy, no brainer PRV. Those are the people I am, of course, going to spoil, do little extras for, things like that. But those are relationships I formed in the last year and a half. Maybe from existing customers, maybe new customers. But the way I prospect those people is by, like last month was big because there was a bring back bar season, and then we had the catalog change. So I went to, you just go to reporting, you pull up the sales report and you pull up by item or by product number or product name. And you can look for various no spruce, winterberry apple tea, shimmer, all those things, like to see if whoever has ever ordered it from you. And that's just like, you know, it gave me a billion follow-ups. You know, not every single person is going to be on board, but I informed every single person about it. And then with Scentsy Club, there's just so many benefits to your big spenders and people like that that just, you know, you've tried to recruit them, you've tried to get them to party, they just aren't into it, but they spend a lot of money with you. So you're like, okay, it only makes sense for you to do Scentsy Club, get your stuff auto shipped. You get 10% off, you get the half off item at $60. And now we have referral points. So it's like you're hosting a party without even hosting a party. You know, all these points for referring your friends. All you have to do is send them that link that is right there under your Scentsy Club. Copy, paste, send it to them. If they join Scentsy Club under me, you start to rack up points from their orders. And then you get to spend those. All the info that's brand new, so we don't know everything about it yet, but it's right there in FAQs, so you can learn all about it. I think, you know, when things first start, like Scentsy Club's been around for a little while now, but when it first started, like everybody wasn't quick to jump on board just because of change. You know how that is, and we didn't know all about it and that kind of thing. But at this point, I mean, there's so much information. It's right there on Workstation. We've done trainings about it. Other people have done trainings about it. You know, it's like what I was told when I was little. If you don't know about it, whose fault is that? My mom used to say that all the time when I would complain about something that wasn't going my way when I had total control over it. Whose fault is that? And I'd be like, oh.
And you get so mad and say you weren't going to be that person, and here you
Yeah,
are.
here I am saying it. I've done a lot of those things lately,
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm officially old, but it's true, man.
I told John, I was like, you're going to be just like me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so true. But that's about all I wanted to say about Scentsy Club. There's just so much opportunity there. Like, I don't want you guys to sleep on it because it is just it's the cat's meow.
And we're talking about how we got our PRV. We're just using January as an example. And January is one of those hard months. It's the J month. So my PRV last month, I think, was 1578. So it was actually a lower month for me. My goal every month is to hit 2000, and 1578 is what I got for January. But I mean, January is a tough month. So, but the way I got mine is I always have my own link that I put out individual stuff on to get orders. And I always try to have, my goal is to have 8 parties every month. That don't always happen, but that's what I set my goal at. And if you set your goal at that, you're going to keep pushing and pushing to try to get that. And you might end up with 2 or 3 or 4, and you might end up with 8, but at least you'll have it out there if you're trying to set that goal. So, and I'll show you my calendar in a minute as to how I do that. But so I had an individual party link of my own. I did have one party last month, and it was a housewarming party. So if you know people who are getting new houses and stuff like that, use it as an opportunity to say, hey, let me spoil you. I know you want some Scentsy in your new house, and you can do like a housewarming party. So that's the party that I had last month. And then I think I had about $400 in Scentsy Club orders. Again, Scentsy Club is huge. The way you're going to appeal to your Scentsy Club people is, you know, like Sarah said, catalog transition is great. Bring Back My Bar is great, but you're also going to want to look at your big spenders. If you have someone who uses the Laundry Love, like a couple of the people who joined my Scentsy Club are people who buy laundry stuff every month. Okay. Well, number one, laundry is reusable, and 9 times out of 10, your customers are messaging you and they're saying, oh my gosh, I'm about to run out of my whips. Can you get me an order in? Okay. Well, why don't you put it on a recurring cycle so you're never going to run out of it, and you're already spending $30, so you're going to get 10% off of it automatically. So instead of spending the $50 on it, then you're going to get it for $45. So, and then I'm going to spoil you for doing it because I'm super thankful for my Scentsy Club members. So, so I had my own personal shopping link, I had the party link, and I had a Scentsy Club going for me last month. And then the other thing I had is personal shopping links. So if you have anybody who spends with you frequently, then you need to ask them, do they want to set up their own shopping link? I actually have 2 pretty big spenders that most of their orders are going to be anywhere from $100 to $400 when they spend. So I'm like, why don't you set up your own shopping link? And when it gets to $1,000, you can cash it in for rewards. But let me just tell you that I learned the hard way that your personal shopping links expire in 90 days. So I'm pushing them in 90 days to get to those higher rewards. So most of them that have personal shopping links with me are going to spend $1,000 in 90 days because they want to max out that reward. So really cool if you have anybody who spends a decent amount a month to encourage them to do the shopping link, because even if they're not $1,000 spender, they might be a $500 spender. And that's $500 you're going to get instead of $100 you would have got, because that's going to get them to $75 free and 3 half offs. So, but both of mine are like, how much more do I got to do to get to 1,000? You know, and so some of my January, I had a $500 order in January, and that was because she had her own personal shopping link and she's trying to get to that part. So really, really try to preach the shopping links to your people who are ordering frequently, and that's the 4 things that got me orders in January in that tough J month. The other thing I do in general months is I set a goal every month and I break that goal down, because we call them hairy, scary goals. I don't know. I heard that somewhere between one of our leaders, because trainings are super important to keep your mind going, but they call them hairy, scary goals. And when you say you want to sell 2,000 a month, it almost sounds scary and it almost sounds impossible. But if you break that down to $500 every week and how you're going to get there, then it breaks down a lot easier for you. And so the way I would do that in my stuff, so if I'm saying I want to do 8 parties a month, then I've got myself a little outline in my calendar, and I have 2 lines for every week. So that's going to, if I do 2 parties a week, that's 8 lines. And so I have 2 parties here, and if each one of those parties hits 250, then I've got my 500 for the week. So one of the parties is mine and one of the parties is somebody else here. So, and then here I'm going to have 2 parties plus my party probably still going. So I might hit more than 500 this week, because you want to get them all to at least active $200. And then if I've got a few orders coming in, that's why I say 250 with each party. And if you do that, then you can hit the 2,000. And I always set 2,000 as my goal, because you automatically get that extra 5%. And when you look at it and you say, okay, so I'm getting an extra 5%, so I'm automatically going to get a $600 paycheck, regardless of what else anybody does or what else I do. I'm gonna get a $600 paycheck. That's my car payment. I got a car payment that I didn't want to have recently. That's $400. Okay, so that's my car payment plus a little bit of fun money. So that's why I go for the 600 and I set those goals. But it does yourself no good to set goals if you don't set actions behind those goals. So we post a thing every week about what's your goal for the month, what's your goal for the month. And it's very easy to spew off. I want to do 1,000, or I want to do 500, or I want to do 2,000, and I want to have 2 teamies. What are you going to do to get there? So what I want you to do when we post those goals moving forward is not only say what you want to do, but how you're going to do it. So if I say I'm going to do 2,000 every month, then I'm going to say I'm going to do 500 every week. And so I set those goals and I put actions behind it and I break it down. And I use the example all the time, like your list of 100. So a list of 100 people scares me. I don't even like 100 people. I mean, I might have 1,300 people on my Facebook page, but I don't even like 100 people, you know? So to say I'm coming up with 100 people is kind of scary sometimes. So, you know, I told Sarah one time I'm gonna break it down into 25. And then from that 25, I'm gonna come up with another 25. And from that 25, I'm gonna come up with another 25. And I reached out to those people, and to come up with the last set of 100, you know, I started scrolling through my messages. Who have I talked to in the last month, you know, and come up with some names that way to finish out my list of 100. So when I say, I use that as an example, if you're going to make your list of 100, break it down into 25 into sets of 4, and it's a little less scary
We
for
have
you.
30.
Or your 2,000, you know, break it down into, you know, 500 each week, and it's going to be a little less scary for you. So you got Cincy Club, you got shopping links, you got setting your goals and putting actions behind it, and then you got your own orders that you're putting in. So that's how I got to my my January numbers. And my Cincy Club, I don't quite have, I think you said you had over 1,000, up to 1,000, 500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm 200 to 500 on my Cincy Club right now.
Still really good. That's really good.
But
You're
with that being said, 200
That's
to
it.
500, I'm active every month, regardless if I do anything else or not. So it's really a big deal to push Cincy Club to your people and have those people just ordering from you frequently, so that, you know, if you are having a rough month, you know, you're at least going to be active, because your loyal customers are going to be ordering from you every month. So so that's how we got to our PRV for January.
Absolutely. And I loved what you said about the making your list of 100, breaking it down by 25 or I saw a training one time, and the lady, she drew like two or three circles, and she put 3 people she knew. So one was like my sister Deborah, and then she did like little arrows out of her, and I was like, okay, let me do that. Who does Deborah know? So I listed her mother-in-law, her sister-in-law, all these people that necessarily I wasn't that close to, but I knew them. They knew who I was. I know they liked Scentsy because I think they had bought from Deborah before, bought a long time ago. So Deborah was somebody I needed to get to set up a party link for her, or I needed to reach out or ask her for referrals with those people, or maybe even reach out to those people if I talked to them recently, and think of just like a couple more. And before you know it, you'll have 25, even if like they're
Yes.
people that you're not necessarily in your circle, they're in other people's circles.
Yep.
It's the whole referral thing. And just like with breaking it down by week, it's perfect. You know, I wish more people would comment on those kind of goals, because when those are put out there, they're not meant to intimidate. Like if your goal for the month is to get $200 to get active, $50 a week, like isn't that so much more attainable? Like $50 a week. That is like
Or break that into a day.
a day. Yeah.
You know, $50 a week is what, $10
Yeah,
a day,
like, what
even
if-
if you skip 2 days.
Yeah.
You know?
What if you just sold like a pack of scent circles one day, or, you know, just like break it down like that, put the order in, you know, weekly, or do individual orders, or have people order on your website. It's definitely
Seriously,
attainable.
I'm going to focus on scent circles today, and I'm going to post something on social media about how I like scent circles or something. And then somebody orders, boom, you got your $10 for the day. So,
Absolutely.
which when we're talking about weekly, I think we kind of numbered some things we want to talk about, and I've got systems listed as number 3. So since we're going into weekly, Sarah and I use 2 different systems. She's kind of already hit on hers a little bit, how she does, you know, just a week-long system. And I kind of hit on it in my why, where I said, like, I laughed at Sarah when I said, okay, I've got to come up with 4,000 points a month, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but this is what I'm going to try. So I literally like ran myself ragged that month. I mean, I think I sold like 4,500 that month. That's the month I promoted to director, but I ran myself ragged and I was crazy. I was like, I cannot sustain life like this. So I've got to come up with something. And, you know, I went through all the trainings, went back to Chloe and Katie and different ones. And it's very important to kind of listen to the ones who are already there, because they've already gone through the growing pains that we've gone through to get where we're going. Pick out something from what, I mean, you're not going to like everything they say. Pick out something that just kind of sticks with you and use it. And what stuck with me is a daily system. So Sarah uses a weekly system. She writes down her to-do list for the week and she checks it off. A to-do list for the week extremely stresses me out, because and so you may be like Sarah, you may like that, or you may be like me and it stresses you out because you got it hanging over your head. So like trying to check it off, I feel like I didn't succeed if I don't check everything off. So I use what's called a daily system, and I use a Monday through Friday system. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Monday is my Maven or mail. It starts with M, so it's easy to know. So on Monday, the only thing I'm gonna focus on is either mail out or checking off my Maven. Okay. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's my teams and my trainings. That's when I'm gonna do my team shout outs. I'm gonna try to find some trainings myself to watch, or some trainings to share with my team. And you don't have to make that hard. I know y'all see me all the time. If you want to say tea for toilet time, I tell you all the time that I'm doing something like that while I'm on the toilet. So make it easy. Fold laundry and turn on a training, you know, ride down the road and turn on a training. Do not take extra time out of your day to do these things, okay? Because simplicity, I'm all about a simple life, what works, what you can fit into your life without stressing you out more. So Wednesday for me is Wax Wednesday. That's just what I call it. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna talk about wax. It means I'm gonna make sure I post something on social media that day. Now, I may post something some other day, but I'm definitely gonna post it on Wednesday. And I already told you Thursday's team and training. Friday is follow up or finish. So anything I didn't get done during the week, that's my goal to finish then. So it gives me a little leeway. So I'm not so hard on myself. If I miss a Monday or Tuesday, then I can finish it on Friday. But I'm definitely gonna clear out my Maven for follow-ups on Fridays. And finish anything else I didn't get done. If I have a party that I hadn't gotten everything out on, I'm gonna finish it that day. When I get boxes in the mail, I sort it, but I don't fix it all that day. Okay, I'm gonna message my customers so they know it's there, and I'm gonna set a day to get it to them. And those are the customers I focus on for that day. So if I have 10 orders to get out, I'm not gonna try to get all 10 out in the same day. I'm gonna pick 2 to do on Monday, 2 to do on Tuesday, 2 to do on Wednesday. And I'll say, I'm gonna have your order to you this day. And that's how I get it done. I'll break everything down into smaller parts. Saturday is social media or Scentsy Saturday. So that's another day I'm definitely gonna make sure I post something on social media. You know, whether it be LTO or, you know, right now the favorite products that are coming out. And then Sunday self-care, because that's that fourth leg of success. You got to have some time for yourself. The Sunday, I'm not going to do a whole lot of anything. Now I might bag an order, or I might post something while I'm scrolling or something like that. But outside of that, I'm not doing a whole lot of anything else on Sundays. That's my day. So that's how I kind of keep myself sane. And I use the daily system to do that, whereas Sarah uses the weekly system. So neither one of these systems might work for you, but you need to find something that works for you so that you can kind of keep yourself in line. And what I actually found by doing this is I actually stayed more consistent. And so every day I was doing something, instead of like picking it up for a day and then going a week and not doing anything and then picking it up. And then before you know it, it's a month and you haven't done anything. And you're like, hey, y'all, I know I ain't posted in a while, but your customers see that. And if you want them to take you serious, then you've got to constantly be a presence on social media or in their life with the follow-ups. Get yourself a follow-up system. If it's not Maven, find yourself a follow-up system, whether you're pulling order forms every week, whatever it is, and put yourself out there every week to them in some shape, form, or fashion, because they're going to see that and they're going to notice that and they're going to come back to you. I've actually had people who come to me to join because they saw that I was constantly out there and that I was taking my business serious, as opposed to joining somewhere else because they wanted to make sure they were joining somewhere where somebody was actually going to show them the ropes, or like really, took the time with Cincy. So come up with a system that works with you, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly or whatever, but be a constant present factor for your customers and on social media. And this just kind of helps me make sure I'm doing that follow-up, following up with my customers, following up with my team, following up with myself. So, and I think you had one thing to post with that about motivation and habits, and then we can talk about social media.
Yeah, and I absolutely love what you said about consistency, because people really do. It really does affect how people see you on social media or in life in general. Like, they trust you if you're consistent. You're posting every day on your, like, I love stories. I used to do a lot of lives. I still do lives sometimes, but I'm on my stories like every day. Because they're so simple and easy. I might be changing my wax, then I might do something nonsense related, something goofy to and we're going to talk about keeping like interaction and stuff going by like, not like we're talking about that last, but I think it is very, very important to be to gain trust with your team and with your customers.
So Judith asked a question about Cincy and party links needing to be closed by 15 days. I don't know about that, Judith, but I know that the personal shopping links that I put on for individuals, they can stay open 90 days. And I keep them open 90 days. I think the 15-day rule is probably if you're doing a party for customers. And that's because you don't want to keep it open so long that people aren't getting their stuff. So maybe that's where that came from. But I know that you can individually leave a link open for 90 days before it closes. Yeah. So
unless they've changed anything recently, but that's been the
And like I said, I learned it the hard way because my girl got to 1,000 and her link closed.
Oh no!
And I called customer service. I was like, I didn't know, And so as a courtesy, they said they wouldn't do it again, but as a courtesy, they allowed me to order her customer rewards through them and use the 150 and the 4 half offs. But they said they wouldn't do it again. So I mean, our customer service is awesome.
They do.
So I'm super glad that they did that. I give my shopping links for 30 days. It makes them share that link faster. Yes, that's if they're sharing with other people. So, but these are people who are shopping for themselves because they're big spenders from me. So that's where the 90 days comes in for them. So they're big spenders. Like I said, they'll spend anywhere from $100 to $500 at a time, and so they have their own shopping link for that. So, but if you're giving them a shopping link to share with other people, definitely close it within that month. I agree.
I like what Ashley said about she focuses on one product a week. That's that's a good system. I like
Absolutely.
that.
Yes.
That's a really neat system because that way they know like you're going to be featuring a new product each week kind of thing. That's a good idea. I
Absolutely.
Like that.
And so anything anybody has as ideas to help, then I think that's awesome, because I also do like with the products each week. I've done a shop my tote before, and I know that's a good way to earn PRV. I know you guys have seen us post that before. I think Tanya's done it before. I've done it. A couple other people have posted how they did it and what they did to succeed. So you can actually probably search and Starry Night shop my tote and see what we did. But I actually put the stock that I had into a box, and I put what I had in that tote on a list so that when I got it back, I could check off and see what was gone or whatever. And I let my host know up front that she's responsible for that list. So if she wants to sit it in a blank office room for today, she's got to trust those people not to take it. But I've never had any issue with that. And what she did is she actually realized that shopping that tote, with her friends was super easy. People were just buying it left and right. And then I was like, look how easy it was for you to do that. Like, you really should consider joining my team. And she joined, So I got excellent PRV off of that originally, but then when she joined and she put all the work in, I actually flipped it to her and she joined my team. So shopping your totes, or doing a product feature for a week or shopping your totes, there's also other good ways to get PRV. So
yeah, I love that.
mhm.
Yeah, we were going to touch on just a little bit. I'm going to ramble just a minute, but not long. I just want to talk about like motivation and motivation versus making habits. So it's kind of like just sort of summing up everything we're saying. Like I love this is my favorite time of year. I love the spring and summer more than the fall and winter. But it seems like every time we get into the beginning of the catalog change, that's when the energy comes back, and I love it. Like it's giving me life right now. But motivation is fleeting. Like you can't really depend on anybody else for it. It comes from within for sure, but you won't always be motivated every day. We know that. I sure know that. I read the book Mini Habits, and it really was a game changer for me. Motivation isn't sustainable, and you can't depend. I just said that you can't depend on somebody else for it. I always say like don't be a fair weather consultant. Like, have you ever heard of a fair weather fan? Like my husband used to love the Buffalo Bills, and like years ago, and then when they were just not doing well for a long time, he was like, I'm done.
So they probably liked them this year, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you back now? You back, honey? You back? You like the Buffalo Bills again? But I was like, yeah, you're a fair. So you probably heard that at fair weather fans. When things are going great, then you're on board. You got to be in it for the long haul. Like when the excitement dwindles, like what are you going to do? And like some of the things we suggested, that's what you do. Many habits involve creating a tiny habit that you can do every single day and build on that. So in the book Mini Habits, it sounds stupid if you haven't read it, so I'm just going to say it. The guy wanted to get in shape. He was like not in good shape. Things were going great for him. He didn't have any motivation. He was like, I want like a 6-pack of abs or whatever he wanted. And he was like, I'm going to do 1 push-up a day. And you're like, what's that going to do for you? But it's too small to fail, right? So if you say, I'm going to open my Maven app every Monday, no matter what, if I don't clean it out, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not a great example, but you know what I mean.
It's a great example.
Okay, thank you. Well, the guy would do 1 push-up a day, but the thing is, you did 1 push-up and you're like, well, I can do 5. And then you're like, well, and then like, on day 15, you're like, well, I can probably do 30 push-ups. And it just kind of built from there. And it's like, once you've gotten in the push-up position, you've already, I guess the inertia is there, you've started it, you're going to do more. But if you won't let yourself go to sleep every day without doing that 1 push-up, that's something, right? And you didn't fail. Like you did it. So like, oh my gosh, I'm already in bed. The lights are out. I'm going to turn over on the mattress and do 1 push-up. I did it. Okay. I opened Maven and sent somebody a message, right? So that's one way to look at it. I like it. Everybody draws from different resources, but I'm a big fan of like podcasts and self-help books, things like that. When it comes to business, at least check something out. If you're not a reader, there's audio books. I like the audio books these days. I used to like to read, but now I'm on the go. Like Sherry said, do it in the car. I don't necessarily spend my family time reading books about business. But I love that. I love that example. And a quote that I love so much is never make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling. Everybody's heard that this year, I'm sure. But anything worth doing is not going to be easy. We all know that. We've all had the good times and the bad times in life. And I always say, remember what brings you joy and what made you join this business in the first place. Like think about what was your favorite thing about this business when you first started.
And yeah, and if you think about that, like, I mean, how much fire you had when you first started. If you go back and look at your first month and compare it to your current month, the difference in the PRV for some of us are astronomical. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing then that you're not doing now? And try to go back to some of those things. Exactly. But since we're talking about mini habits, I do want to get into social media and our daily habits. So I had to kind of take a step back when I realized I was driving myself crazy before I come up with systems. And I mean, I wish you could have seen my calendar. I tried to find it. Like I had it. It looked like my brain on crack is what it looked like. I mean, there was so much stuff written on it for what I was going to do every day, and it wasn't sustainable. And then I had to start stopping. I came up with a weekly system based on listening to those who have already succeeded ahead of us. But also, what was I doing during my day that I could lighten up a little bit? So, my toilet time used to be spent playing Candy Crush. Okay. Yeah.
Candy Crush.
So I had to delete my Candy Crush app. Then if it's not there, I was able to focus on other things. Okay. So what kinds of things are you focusing on? And I used to aimlessly scroll social media. Okay. When I was riding in the car. So Johnny would be driving and I would be scrolling social media. Okay. Well, now Johnny's driving and I'm messaging 10 customers. And then I'm scrolling social media and commenting, because you do want to be interactive with your customers too. Every time you're following up, it doesn't necessarily need to be about Scentsy. I had, some follow-ups in my Maven today, and it was like follow up with this person they hadn't ordered in 6 months. Okay, well, I didn't message them about Scentsy from 6 months ago. I messaged them and said, hey, just checking in with you. How's life treating you? Every message does not have to be about Scentsy. And I have actually made some of the best friendships that I've ever made just by doing that. Just by reaching out to folks and learning more about their life than, hey, let me give you my link for the month. I've got customers that are going through so much. And so now a lot of times when I message them, it ain't even about Scentsy, it's about something else. And sometimes I had a conversation, oh, by the way, I need to get this, when you put in your next order. So just message about other things as well. And when you're looking at social media, like get out of your comfort zone. So I know when I was striving for a director, I went through the 90-day slay, and the 90-day slay says something about increasing your friends on social media. And I was like, that's stupid, but then I did it. And I mean, it increases your audience. So like I actually went through and there are people that are not on my social media that I wouldn't have ever friended otherwise, but I know them and they know me, and so I picked 1 or 2 people a day, or even it says up to 5, but I mean, I didn't do that. I did like 1 or 2 people a day and expanded my audience by about 50 people, So I encourage you to look at your social media that you're using and add a few friends, add a few people, add a few acquaintances, expand your audience, and then, hey. And then reach out to those people, and see how they're doing. Like I said, some of the best friends I've made through Scentsy and old contacts that have become good friends. And then I think most of us use Facebook, but I encourage you to go beyond Facebook. So last year I expanded into Instagram, and I think I got about 40 more followers now than I did have. And there's a few people who use only Instagram and not Facebook. This year I'm challenging myself to add Snapchat. So I don't even really know how to use Snapchat that good. I'm probably going to send something accidentally at some point and then just laugh about it.
I worry about that with Snapchat. Yeah. I'm like, did I just take a picture?
But that gives something I'm going to say later about not taking yourself too serious. I'm just going to laugh about it and keep rolling. But I put 2 posts out there on Snapchat, and I know specifically I have a few friends that don't do any social media other than Snapchat. So get out there outside of your Facebook and try Instagram or Snapchat and try and putting some stuff out there to increase your audience. And whether you realize it or not, they're watching. Eventually they're going to come to you for something, whether you feel like you're succeeding at it initially or not. And then I think most of us who have had Scentsy for any length of time have a VIP page, but I don't want you to hide behind that VIP page. Do not just post in that VIP page, okay? Your VIP page is just that. It is your VIPs. They're the ones who are going to get the sneak peeks. They're going to get the exclusive deals. If there is something that is out there that might be LTO that you're not sure if you can order for everybody, then I'm not going to put that on my main page. That's going to go for my VIPs. But I'm also going to use my main page. Like, don't not use your main page. And Sarah can touch on this because she did cleaning baskets, and more people ordered from her main page than they did her VIP page on that. So make sure you're using your regular page too, because I know there's several of you that'll come to us and you'll say, nobody's buying from me this month. What am I doing wrong? But if we look at your page, some of you don't have your website on your page. Some of you don't have that you're a Scentsy consultant. Some of you don't follow the 80-20 rule. And we're not saying follow that to a T, but if I've scrolled for 2 months on your page and I've seen nothing about Scentsy, then nobody's really paying attention to the fact that you sell Scentsy, and I mean something besides putting an order in today. What do you need? I mean, do something fun with it. Like, use your animals, or, like, I mean, I literally almost kissed a cider mill clean, counter clean one day for a post, like, this is love, or I put something with my cat the other day, and cats can have some of the onlyest looks, right? I'm like, Wheezy's look when you didn't take advantage of the 10% sale.
That was cute.
But guess what? We have the spring scents out, so put something out there besides just a flyer. They want to see more. They want to see interaction from you. So I challenge you to expand your social media beyond Facebook and beyond just flyer post, and make sure every single one of you who watch this, I want you to make sure that your website's on your page, that it says that you're a Scentsy consultant, and that you're posting something up there, at least 2 out of 10 posts, to get your stuff out there constantly, so people know that you're the Scentsy chick. Oh, I'm gonna come to her. She's the Scentsy chick,
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. If you look at my Instagram, if you're friends with me on Instagram, I make the most idiotic reels, and we're always lip syncing to something, including Scentsy with it. And it's like, it goes back to don't take yourself too seriously, like just have fun with it. And Nathan helps me and we have a good time.
yeah,
And
I tell her she's more creative than I ever dare to be. So I inspire her to be there.
I'm goofy. Like I don't even care what people think anymore.
But we were going to close, but don't take yourself too serious. But since we're up there, like, I mean, 9 times, do not wait until you fix your hair and get dressed to do a Scentsy post. Okay. Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to happen. Get up there and be your real authentic you. Like, my hair's not even brushed now. So get up there and be your real authentic you. When I went to Mexico leadership, the girls up there that were talking about doing fun stuff, like, come up with something fun that your customers are going to look for. Like, one girl does, I love this bar, and she calls it I love this bar, which works good because of Scentsy bars or whatever, but she takes different scent mixes and mixes them together, and then she comes up with a drink concoction to go with it. So yeah, like, I mean, I would say, like, you do the tequila sunrise, which is what, like, something orange and something pomegranate or something, and then she comes up with a tequila sunrise drink or something like that. That's cool. And that's her Thursday night thing. I love this bar. Come see what kind of drink concoction I'm doing and what kind of mix I'm gonna come up with tonight for you guys, for Scentsy scent. And then there was another one that, she comes up with all these funny things, and she's like, her thing was she put a shirt over her nose, and she's like, if poos be cray, use the spray, I mean, so just come up with funny stuff like that. And I did, before World Tour last year, I did a whole dance to I'm so excited about how excited I was that new stuff was coming out. Incorporate your family. Jonna gets on with me all the time. We call it the Jonna Sherry Scentsy show. I even had Johnny help me do a reel for Mystery Man.
First.
Yeah, I said Jonna. Yes, I said I had Johnny help me do a reel for Mystery Man for to get the scents out there for the men folks. So incorporate your family and make it a little bit fun. Don't ever take yourself too serious. So I was trying to think of what it was I put up there not too long ago, and I was like, I can't even take myself serious. But I'll try to think about what it was.
Remember when we wrapped you up like a mummy when the mummy warmer came out?
Yes, I actually took a picture of that. Yeah, so I actually took a picture of that to say, don't take yourself too serious. But
oh yeah, okay.
I was going to show you that. Hold on.
Wrapped her up in toilet paper.
Yeah, so this is me as well. You probably can't see it, but this is me.
Yeah, there it goes.
This is me as a mummy. Like,
who wore it better?
Like, who wore it better? For the mummy wraps. So I mean, just crazy stuff, and people are going to remember that kind of stuff.
They really do. Like, I'll get customers that message me and they're like, "I can't with you."
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't either.
So
can't either. What you need though?
So, because then they're going to watch. They're like, "Oh gosh, she's on. What is she doing now?"
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're going to watch. Which kind of goes back also to your VIP. Like, a lot of people say, I'm friends of, and some people may differ on this, but I'm just going to give you my spin on it. I'm in a lot of VIP groups for different things, and they're constantly posting just random stuff every day. And I know it gets some interaction on your page, but it is an everyday post about something, and 9 times out of 10, it's not even about their business. It's just trying to keep you active on their page. And so half the time I don't even look at their VIP page. So to me, my VIP page is just that. If I'm posting something, my customers are going to look. So I am posting it because there is something legit they need to look at. So really try to put yourself out there for your business on your VIP page.
There's lots of great flower groups out there that will give you motivation and ideas and things you can borrow and use. Like the other day I posted, it was like a play on the Wordle thing that everybody's so obsessed with right now. And it said the only score I care about, and it had like Scentsy bars in the Wordle score, and it said bars 3, 6, 5, 7.
Yes.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
And then
A lot of people laughed at it.
I think April put the one out there. I saw you shared it too. It was really cute. It was the groundhog,
groundhog,
yeah,
yeah.
groundhog one. You know, are you for Paradise Petals or Jammy
Yeah.
Time? You know,
I love cute. People will,
Yeah.
come up with those and share them in the flyer groups, and
Yeah.
everybody's so generous to share stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
can post all the links to the flyer groups that I
Mhm.
like. I know I wanted to give like ideas for PRV, like different types of, not necessarily parties.
Yeah.
So I just kind of jotted down like some different types of ideas for parties and, shopping links, that kind of thing. We already touched on Shop the Tote, personal shopping links. Bag parties, if Facebook parties aren't really hitting it for you right now, do a little creative post about asking people to babysit your bag and offer incentives, things like that. Like they get, all these samples for just passing the bag around at work and collecting,
And
kinda
I
make it-
say on bag parties, every time you deliver an order, you should be offering a bag party.
yes.
Every time. Because these people are ordering from you and they're going to want their next set free. They just spent money with you. So, hey, can I give you,
Absolutely.
can I drop off something for you to share with your friends when you're delivering your order?
I completely agree. That's how one girl on our team lives in Zebulon, Alyssa, joined my team. I didn't know her, but I met her through a party, and I was like, I went and dropped off her order at her house, and I was like, can I leave a bag party for you? And she was like, sure, why not? And next thing you know, we just hit it off, and the rest is history. Home parties, of course, I put my fave. Those are my favorite thing ever to do. They haven't been as easy to come by in the last 2 years, probably year and a half. But a lot of people are doing them now, and there's so many options and just fun things you can do at home parties. You can make them creative. It can be a simple sip and sniff. It can be a meetup at a coffee shop. It can be like somebody hosted at their house. At the coffee shop. And those are just always fun. You can play I love the saran wrap game.
Oh.
Things like that.
Shauna's not a fan.
Different things. I was supposed to have one on the 31st. They had to reschedule, but I had bought these really cute little, they were like foam fortune cookies in pink and red from Dollar Tree. And they're like little Valentine fortune cookies. I also take the fortunes out and replace them with different incentives for people to get people to book parties. So I find that like with home parties and when I do an open house or like last chance, first glance, that's when I book a lot of parties most of the time. Just by doing really fun, cute incentives, events. I love events. I used to have one big main one that I did every year, and that was how I've met a lot of my customers, a lot of people that do Scentsy Club with me. It's been canceled 2 years in a row. Finally got some events booked in November last year. I did 2 events, loved them. It was amazing. And I did drawings. I do drawings at every single event I do, no matter how big or small, so that way I can get all their info on a drawing slip. I write down any info I remember about them. Oh, she said she's looking for a new consultant. Oh, I loved her pink cat, or like anything. It doesn't matter. Like just like anything that you remember about her to keep the personal relationship that you formed, like by having, just having a conversation with them. If they buy anything, I write it on the drawing slip. So that way when I make my spreadsheet of everybody that I met that day, if they bought anything, I put it in the memo, in the comments. That way when I follow up with them, hey, how are you liking that bar of Fairy Snowy Spruce or blah, blah, blah. That brought me a lot of opportunities for follow-up in the slower months for me. I just love events. If you can get one, do it. You don't have to be over-prepared. You don't have to have a lot of stock. Do a drawing for like something small. Collect orders on site. Have people order from your website. They're just fun. And fundraisers. I love fundraisers. We did one for the local animal shelter. It was a lot of fun. We ended up raising
3,000 overall.
Yeah.
In two sets.
Yeah, and that was between like a handful of people,
Mhm,
really.
mhm.
People, if you find a cause, you don't have to overthink it with fundraisers. You can do an open party, like an open catalog shopping link. What we did was the people that participated, we basically got with the people. All you need is permission. Got with the people, met with the people that run the shelter and the sheriff. We recorded a little video, very simple. Everybody named their parties the same thing, and people that were involved, that were passionate about the cause, volunteers, whatever, everybody was sharing it. So they just go to our website and order, or either message us and order before it closed. And we decided how much of a percentage we were giving. Now there's all kinds of fundraisers and all kinds of trainings on them too. Like if you like the Scent Circle fundraiser, buddies, buddy clips, all that stuff, there's lots of info out there about any of those. So you don't have to be intimidated. Just find a cause you want to help, something you're passionate about. I have a rescue dog that He's not mine, but he's one that I helped rescue. He has a home now. He has a great life. He came from a really bad situation. I just love this dog. And his owners messaged me, and he needs a really expensive surgery next month. And she was like, do you know of anything we can do for fundraiser? And I was like, I sure do. So I'm going to create a fundraiser for this one dog. It's totally legit to do that. And, I'll decide how much of my commission I'll give to him, which will be 30%, because that, I put it in my head, I'm going to commit to sell him 2,000 this month so I can help. His name is Boss. I'm help Boss out. And I'm going to get everybody who's ever been, he was kind of like a big story between a lot of rescue people that loved him. I'll get all those people to help share it. And I'll meet all kinds of new people.
Yeah, so with fundraisers, I love fundraisers too. So I definitely do like animal rescues, and when we do the animal shelter, I've done a community pantry before. Just reach out to a common cause that your customers can identify with. I mean, I think I've done one for breast cancer before, because that's always near and dear to my heart. And I did a pop-up shop before, and all my proceeds went to breast cancer.
Ronald McDonald House, one that our whole group did.
Yeah, the
really
whole
cool.
group did the Ronald McDonald House
really
and
good.
the Cincy Buddy. So, and then several of our people did the Buddy Clips for a kindergarten thing, but that wasn't a fundraiser. That was just a charity event.
And Melissa Gay helps a lot. She's a teacher, and she will have people sponsor all of her classes, and like every kid ends up getting a Buddy Clip.
If your if your kids are in some type of group, like I know there's some that are in Scouts, different things like that, reach out to the leader and see if you can do a fundraiser for the group that way as well. And like I said, you can do, like she said, you can do scent circles, you can do whole catalog. I always try to do whole catalog because it doesn't limit me, and everything for that link goes, my proceeds go, but I still make money for the month because all my other links I'm still making proceeds off. So it's just that link that I'm doing stuff off of. But I actually had somebody join my team that I met from a fundraiser. And then I've actually gotten a couple of new customers from fundraisers and events. I think I met 13 new people that I didn't know before at the last event I did. So I think I might have sold 150 to 200. So it wasn't like huge for me, but I got 13 new contacts to follow up with. And like she said, when they were saying, oh my gosh, I love the diffuser, but I just can't afford it. Well, guess what? Who I messaged to see if they want to do a party, those kinds of things. So listen to what they're saying while you are, getting their name for the drawing. And I actually saw on some type of training recently, this is why it's important to do trainings, is have your Maven open and go ahead and get all of their contact information that way, and it can be like, hey, I'm getting this information that way just in case that bar you want comes back, or, there's a new thing that comes out, make sure you get all the information on it or whatever. And people are really quick to be appreciative that way, and you can get all of their information rather than them just part of their information from the drawing. So events and fundraisers are huge outside of the bag parties and the Facebook parties and the at-home parties as well.
Ashley said she's going to do a Buddy Clip fundraiser to help Kaylee's competition team with expenses for nationals. That's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
So, and then one of your goals this year is to be more me with my Cincy business. So that's a goal. Remember to put some action plans behind it. Like, how are you going to achieve that goal? So now that you've said that, I want you to come up with a few things that's going to help you achieve that goal and share that, and then keep us posted on how it goes. So I'm always excited to hear stuff like that. When we're talking about parties and increasing PRV, there's going to be opportunities for you everywhere you go to reach out to people for Cincy. My two biggest spenders I met in customer lines. Okay. So you need to always be ready to share Cincy. I literally decided, okay, I'm gonna take my samples in with me, and I'm just going to say it's too hot for me to have them in the car, and that's going to give me a chance to open up the opportunity to talk about it. So I had my bag in my hand. I was like, don't mind me, hope these ain't smelling up too much. It's just I didn't want them to get too hot in my car. And they're like, oh, I love Cincy. Well, it turns out they used to have a Cincy consultant that quit following up with them. They were a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan. We had just released the second set of Nightmare Before Christmas. They had no idea. I shared them a link with them, and they spent $400 that day, and turned around and spent $300 the next month. So you never know. You never know who is going to be that person that's going to be the person that's going to job for you. They've now joined Cincy Club, and they spend $200 religiously. Tried my best to get her to join. She won't, So, but I met her in a customer line, guys, just talking about my samples not melting in my car. Okay. met another girl at a post office. I was actually, especially when you go to the post office, you guys, you're mailing out Scentsy stuff. They see it. It's just like, hey, do you have a catalog? Who would I have been had I not had a catalog on me that day, or a business card or something? Okay. You can't get catalogs. You can't get business cards, a product flyer. Okay. You get 75 of them for $9. You can put your name and number on it. Okay. So I sent out a catalog with her that day and a business card, and she ordered from me later. Then people, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I need bulbs. I ain't got no bulbs. Have you got bulbs? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I got a whole caddy in my car of each white bulb you need. What do you need? And then they're going to get a catalog to go with it. So have yourself a little mobile kit going to, because you never know when you're going to meet that one person that might be the person that you're going to follow up with. That's going to be a big spender, that's going to want to do a party, that's going to want to join your team, all the things.
Absolutely. All my post office people get a little goodie bag with samples because they had started buying from me, because they would be like, your stuff has always smells so good and looks so good. Like, what is this? And all of a sudden, they'll text me their bulk order for this is a tiny post office in my town, like 3 people work there, but they all order.
But still, it's PRV.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking how we get PRV. Each little bit adds up. Some of it's $30 here, some of it's $100 here, some of it's $200 here, but each little bit of it adds up to get you where you need to be, so that you can already be like Sarah and already have hit annual sales before April gets here. I think I've got to get 2,500. I'm about $5,000 away from annual sales. This will be my first time hitting that, So 2,500 a month will get you annual sales. So if you have a month that's better than the other, then that's great. Some of mine have been better than others. But that's where I'm at to get to annual sales, just in case you're curious where that top PRV, what that number would be.
Absolutely.
So.
And brand yourself. It just made me think about, like, when you're talking about going out in public and stuff like that, like wear your little Scentsy t-shirt, or like one you made yourself with your Cricut or anything. Like, just have your business cards on.
Yeah, I think I had my Scentsy pet shirt on the other day, and they're, oh, you sell Scentsy? I was like, yeah. And we got started talking about something. I didn't even know they had a pet line, So I mean, there's always ways to get yourself out there and open up conversation. To get those little extra things for PRV. And then I think the last thing I have is just focus. Well, the next last thing, because my daughter, who is all into the Scentsy biz, has her own little creation she wants to share. But income producing activities. All right. So we want to be focused on things that are going to be beneficial to us and not have us spinning wheels. Initially when I started, I do say focus on trainings. That's what my Tuesdays and Thursdays are. If I'm riding in the car, if I'm folding laundry, but you don't want to spend so much time doing trainings and taking notes on trainings that you're taking time away from, the actions that can get you there. Okay. So listen to that stuff, but don't spend so much time on that stuff that you're not doing things that allow you time for follow-ups, or, maybe get rid of the Candy Crush, so you have more time to spend time on Maven. Or if Candy Crush is something you love, I always use that as an example because I swear my boyfriend's addicted to it. But if Candy Crush is something that you love, just say, okay, I'm just going to do it on my self-care Sunday, and the rest of the time I'm going to focus on something else. So income producing activities, focus on things that are going to get you places in your business. And I think that's all I have.
I think that's really all I have too. Oh, Ashley said she met one of her customers because she moved into her apartment complex, and she made her a welcome to the neighborhood basket. I love that.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of baskets, like, don't give up. Like, I know we've watched trainings before about realtor baskets. I actually have income coming in. I think I've gotten $350 in a quarter from a realtor.
Nice.
And I reached out to her when we first started talking about realtor baskets. And I was like, man, this is just really going nowhere. I don't reach out to all these realtors and ain't nobody listening to me. Well, turns out somebody else brought a basket in of something else for her to give to people. And she's like, oh, you know what? Sherry messaged me a while back. And all of a sudden she's ordering baskets from me consistently.
That's awesome. You never know.
Yeah. So people are listening. If you're putting yourself out there constantly, and giving people the opportunity and things that are going to benefit them, like shopping links or realtor baskets or things like that, neighborhood basket as a thank you, those kinds of things, people are seeing that kind of thing, and they're going to come back to you. So just constantly put yourself out there and step outside of your comfort zone. And just because you don't think it is working, it is. Like I said, it was 2 years later for this realtor come back to me.
That's one of my goals this year, is to get a realtor on board. And I've had conversations, so like I'm just like waiting and thinking, trying to think
just
of who
follow
else.
up with them. Yeah,
that's right.
So, and then my daughter wants to share something that she She wants me to share it now. So so you guys be on the lookout for this, because you know how you see all the things out there that she's always looking for ways for opportunities as well, because she likes to go on all the trips with me. She's mad because she didn't get to go to Mexico. So I'm surprised she's even doing this. But you know how you see, what is my date of birth? What is my middle name? What food do I like or whatever? She's come up with a Scentsy questionnaire that she wants to go viral for all Scentsy consultants. So if you see this come out to you at some point, she's going to start it with me, and then we're all going to tag somebody and have some fun with it. And then when people see it in our post, it's going to be our whys or our favorite parts of Scentsy or our favorite products or why we did the things that we did, and get that out there to people. So be creative, even a teenager can do it, right?
Yeah, we went and had dinner a while ago, and she was over there just working.
Yeah, she was working her own biz. And my boyfriend said, stop telling everybody what to do, because I constantly am recruiting him to do stuff. So, and recruit your family members, recruit your teenage kids, recruit your super cool boyfriends.
Yeah, because they like to go on trips too.
Yeah. So I mean, I woke up one morning and Johnny had bagged all my samples for me, and Jonna does it constantly for me. She stamped all these little flyers over here for me the other night, and she bags like all my Scentsy Club thank yous. But I got up one morning, I was super tired, and he knew it, and he knew that I was working towards a goal, and he had bagged all my stuff for me. So don't think that your family won't help you. If you put it out there for them, you may be surprised what they'll do for you. What's an awesome idea, Ashley? I'm curious.
Idea.
Oh,
her idea.
Oh,
it is great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna y'all are gonna get tagged.
Yeah, so we said always surprised if you get tagged with this, because we're gonna make the Scentsy wise go viral.
We have young, fresh mind.
Yeah, that's right.
And on this brainstorming
but it's because
session,
I constantly involve her, and so she's got her own wheels spinning. So to get your kids involved, get your loved ones involved. So
she's getting trained.
Yeah, I told her. I told her at 18 when I'm like this close to earning a trip, she's going to join my team. So. All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you guys so much for joining. This is recorded, so I'll share it. So if y'all want to share it to any pages or whatnot, I appreciate y'all joining. Oh,
I do want to know how your thing goes.
Yeah,
you said you're focusing more on your business. I want to see your goals, like your plan for that.
Yes.
And then see how it goes for you.
Stop the video.
You were stopping the recording.